Hey you guys, how are you doing? My Speak Your Truthers, I hope you're doing amazing. I wanted to get on this evening and just kind of share some things with you guys. I'm here basically just kind of thinking about my day. It's March 1st, right? And so you think about where you would have been and what your goals are going forward in 2024. So, this is my element right now that I'm in the evening time, shower, have my silk bonnet on and just kind of this is the me time and the kind of, being with myself, a oneness that I try to do often, um, because that is how I make me better and get a little reflection. So it was something that I wanted to share with you guys. I said starting in March, what I'm going to do is note how I'm feeling each day. Um, no matter if it's something negative, because honestly, I always try to come from a place of positivity. Even when I'm going through something, you probably won't even know it because I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like to bring other people down. And so, a lot of things I hold on my chest, a lot of things I speak to God about, and it goes no further. I have a friend that I always tell we tend to mirror each other in our lives, and so I talk to her. you know she's one I would confide in about anything, to be honest with you. um and so that's nice to have, right? um Someone that could see you, you could see them, and you can acknowledge each other what you're going through, but you could also be honest. And I've had relationships before, right, where I can't be honest and tell them like exactly what I'm feeling because it's on the offense. And so, or defense, they're very defensive when you say something. And so, in being in a friendship, that's not always great, right? When you can't even talk to your friend without them getting upset and whatnot. So, those are relationships I tend not to be in because I have to be a person that I could voice my opinion to you. You could voice your opinion to me. And, we could do all of those things, okay? And just be honest with each other. That's the only way any kind of relationship can grow, right? Would you agree? So, anyway, I know I'm getting a little off topic, but I got this book right here. Can you guys see that? I got this book, and Reverend Yolanda Roberts. I met her, I want to say, a few years ago, and she had told me that she was going to do a book. I didn't know that this was a book like basically to just journal in, right? So I got it on Amazon. If you guys want the link, I'll put the link in the um oh goodness, why can't I think right now? Because it's getting late. That's why I can't even think. But what I'll do is I'll put it um not in the comment section. What am I thinking about, you guys? It'll come to me, but I'll put it in there with the link for Amazon so that you can get her book if you like. So basically, when you open it up, can you see that? you know. And so I said I had got this book a while ago and I never wrote in it. I just had it here. And I said, you know what? Starting March 1st, I'm going to start journaling because I want to get my thoughts out there, not just things that I talk to God about, but things that I'm feeling that particular day. So, I'm going to actually read you guys what I wrote. I'm going to bring you on in here because this is what is this channel called? Speaking Your Truth with Charlie. Speaking Your Truth with Charlotte, because Charlotte is, my actual name. My nickname is Charlie, right? Most people know that when you're named Charlotte, those are, Charlie is one of the nicknames that people give you. So, some people call me Char. It just all depends. I like Charlie, so I go by Charlie. But anyway, so it starts off, Dear God. Okay. Like it's almost like a note to God that she put in here. But I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. So the date is March 1st, right? Today is Friday, March 1st. I woke up this morning not as energized as I wish I could have been. Although I am grateful I woke up at all. I can't believe sometimes it's been 3.5 years now of me being in pain consistently, with pain every day, with no clue still when my prolapse issue will be repaired. On top of all of that, I'm battling with myself internally. I have days where I don't want to move, to do anything, and just turn off everything. I don't want to be the practical, responsible Charlotte. Do you ever feel like that? Like you just don't want to be that to everyone every day, that you're always that person. But I don't know how else to be. That's my dilemma, right? Even though I feel like I'm drowning most days and just trying to make sure my head is somewhat above water, I continue to go through the motions because I have the burden of so many people relying on me to be everything they need. God, I am so glad I have you to talk to. So that's what I wrote in my journal this morning, today. That's how I was feeling, right? And sometimes journaling is not going to be what everybody else wants to hear. It's about you and getting your thoughts out and how you feel. And that's how I was feeling today. And I hope in sharing my journal or how I felt today that maybe one of you on the channel might be feeling that same way, and that could help you in some way to feel that, look, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm, human. We all have human emotions. We're in a really trying time right now in this world as human beings, as women, as men, even our children. What I used to go through in school is so different than what our children are going through now in school. It's ridiculous that they have to be dealing with shootings at school, and all of those things that they have to deal with, bullying and whatnot. bullying was not to that level. Even when I was in school, I got bullied. Teacher's pet, na 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 na, and whatnot. It wasn't like, to the level that it is now. I see some of the things, even on YouTube, that are happening at schools, and I'm like, I'm so scared for those kids. Both of my kids are adults now, 20 and 21. Um, but you never stop worrying about your kids, right? Even when they're adults, you want them to be protected. You want them to be, you know, a product of society. And so that's why we raise them the way that we raise them. And we pour into our kids, right? Because we want them to be the best kids and, have a productive life. But a lot of our kids in our society are being taken away too soon. I mean, it's so many things that go through my mind all the time. And most of the time is about everybody else and not so much about myself. I'm always thinking of how I can make this world a little bit better, by just doing a token thing, you know? Um, it's just those kind of things that um, go through your mind. So, anyway, in getting back to journaling, I think that that's really good. You know, that's going to be really good for me. It could be really good for you as well. To get your thoughts out there, how you feeling, even if you feel like you're not being heard. If you're in a relationship or something, a friendship, and you feel like you're not being heard, journaling, you could get your point across and say exactly how you're feeling, and get all those feelings outside of you. You know what I mean? Because holding those feelings inside is not good. You know, I see a therapist as well. Therapy is really good for me. Um, some of the childhood demons that, I've been plagued with, um, and basically just, making a better me. And that's ultimately what it's about, is just to be the best me that I can be. And so some of those things I have to face. I haven't gotten there completely yet, but I have been on this journey of elevation. I guess redemption is one of them too that I've been on, but mainly transformation. And so within this last year, I've seen, so many changes in myself for the better. And that's what this is all about. It's all about being a better me, a better friend, a better mom to my two daughters, um, and thinking about the future. Because at some point, I want to have grandkids, and I want to break those cycles that I had in my family, even with my mom, with my siblings, and all of that. So that was important to me when I had kids, to break those cycles, those generational curses, as it were. I wanted to be close to my children. I wanted to let them know that I care about their feelings, let them talk to me, and all of those different things. I know this conversation is kind of turning in different places, but I'm just kind of flowing with it. Um, so just kind of bear with me, you guys. Um, because this is just on the top of my head, and I'm just, you know, trying to get it out and be as truthful and um, clear that I can be. So, if you have anything that you want to say, please put in the comments. I'll make sure that this book here that I'll put in the description box. That's it. That's what I was trying to think of. In the description box, I'll put the link so you guys can um, get that if you like on Amazon. And, or you could just get any kind of book and just start to note down how you're feeling that day. It's like a clear, what I noticed today, it gave me a clarity, and it was time for me to like meditate and take in how I was really feeling today. And sometimes I get very overwhelmed. Um, it's kind of hard, right? When you have so many people relying on you, um, that you feel like you can't fail them. And I'm my hardest critic. I'm really hard on myself. Maybe it's just the Virgo in me. I have to have stuff in order, and I have to have things just so. And I want it like that for everybody. I just don't want that for myself. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to attain different goals, to attain this, and come as close to perfection as I can be, if that makes sense. Um, Even though I know I'm not perfect, right? I'm far from perfect. Sometimes it's very overwhelming for me to be that person and be on all the time. Let me just tell you, it's very overwhelming at times. And sometimes it's hard for me to just shut my brain down. And those are the things that I'm working on in therapy, to be honest with you. It's just being able to turn off, not think about, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. I didn't take out something to cook. I didn't, it's like constant. And on top of all of that, I have the situation of caring for my mom. None of my siblings are involved with that. And she has dementia. And you have different moments when you're dealing with someone with dementia. On top of that, it's like we've had things in our relationship that have not been dealt with from previous. You know what I mean? So, taking care of someone that you also have a lot of history with, um, and they have never taken accountability for your feelings or how they treated you as a parent. So, all of those things are coming into play now, right? And so that's overwhelming as well. You know what I mean? Because when you're dealing with someone with dementia, they now don't remember anything, right? So it's not like you can dive into that now and then you see character traits that you've dealt with when you were a little kid and just coming to grips with that, right? So all of those things come into play when you're caring for an older parent that, you know, has done some very not nice things to you, you know what I mean? And has no accountability for them, you know what I mean? But you still have to be the loving, and caring daughter and putting her as a priority when you know that she never did that for you. And that's very hard for me to say because I don't say that often and accept because um, sometimes I think I am ashamed of it, to be honest with you. I see so many of my friends and other women talk so highly of their mothers. And I don't know what I would do without my mother. My mother was, my rock. My mother was this. My mother was that. I have a different situation with my mother. I've been out on my own since I was 17. I was an early grad from high school when I was 16, just to give you some background. Um, I got my first place when I was 16. I went back home and things erupted again. Um, and I left again when I was 17. I was an early grad from high school. 16 was when um, I finished everything for school. So I started working a first job. My first job was at Candle Corporation, and I started working for the director of the company. Um, and it just was a lot on me at an early age. I cared for my siblings. My sibling, one of my siblings, I cared for her kids. Um, so I didn't have much of a childhood, to be honest with you. My mom had me when she was 40. And so I think because she had me later in life, it was just, the bare minimum. So relationships weren't really developed, um, conversations weren't really had, love wasn't really shown. It was just kind of, I'm going to do this as a requirement. So I'll take care of the bills, I'll take care of the food, and you're on your own with everything else. That's exactly my truth. That's exactly what it was. And so now it's almost as if I'm required to now take care of her. You know, like, I'm your mom. Don't you enjoy taking care of me and doing for me? And that's been stated to me. So it's all of those things that you have to balance out. Um, and then I have clients that I've had over the years of me having my healthcare services business as well. So it's the balance of the home life with the work life. Um, and then all of the other things, just being a woman and a single mom, and cooking, cleaning, making sure that all appointments are set up, medications are delivered, um, all of those things that you have to do day to day. in addition to my other businesses and, getting on here and doing my different videos for YouTube and whatnot. So that's the balance of it, you know? And it's sometimes hard to open up and just say those things that, you feel like you're going to get judgment for saying, you know what I mean? But they're the truth. And that's my truth. And, if you have a truth that you want to share, there's no judgment over here. You know what I mean? You go ahead and put in the comments. I'll read all the comments. I'll give you my thoughts if you want my thoughts. Um, and go from there. If you don't want a thought, that's fine too. You know what I mean? I want you guys to know that this is a free and clear and loving place that you could come to. You could listen to me. If you have something you want to share, you could share it. If not, that's okay too. You know what I mean? I just want you guys to know, who I am as a person, because all you know is this is, excuse me, Speak Your Truth with Charlie. But you're probably trying to dive into who I am as a person, and I want that to be clear. I just don't want it to be on the surface, right? Anything with me, I want you guys to feel comfortable and know that I am coming from a good place. I have a humongous heart. That's one thing I know, and no one can deny that. I have a humongous heart, and I want to help everyone. But what I've done in the past is that I'm constantly helping everyone and putting myself in last place. So, what I'm learning to do now is say no. No, I can't do this. No, I got too much on my plate. No, and no. That's the biggest thing for me now, is just to be able to say no and start to put myself in first place, and not to run myself ragged trying to accommodate and please everyone. And yet, and still, sometimes I still feel like overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like I'm one person. And sometimes I feel like because I'm the person that has it all together, I'm expected to always have it together and always have encouraging words to give to other people and make them feel so great. And sometimes inside, I might be having a difficult time. And it'd be nice to have someone to call me for a change and say, "How are you feeling?" Now, my friend, she does that often, so I can't say she doesn't. She'll call me if I have an appointment at the doctor or something. How did it go? If I'm taking my mom to her neurologist or something, how did that go? What did they say? How do you feel about what they said? You know what I mean? So I got to give it to her. Um, but other than her and like my daughters, um, so much is expected and so little is received. Get that? So much is expected and so little is received. Okay? As far as anything. And so that's where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling on this March 1st. And I know it was a little all over the place, you guys. And I know it was a little drawn out. I didn't mean for it to be, well, where are we at? 29 minutes? I didn't mean that. I said I was going to get on here for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So please forgive me. You know, um, I think I needed to get this out, and I needed to say it to you guys today, tonight, and clear my head before I lay down and close my eyes tonight. But I wanted to get on, and I hope that in some way this encouraged you in some way, because that's what I always want. I want my truth to some kind of way encourage and inspire, so that you can know that even with all of the struggles, all of the heartache that I've had to endure in my life, right? Because I had a hell of a lot of it, let me tell you. Um, you can overcome. You can overcome. I was an immigrant. I'm Belizean, right? When I came to the US, I was an immigrant. I was supposed to be born in New York, believe it or not. That's where my parents were residing. Um, and my mom wanted all of her kids to be born in Belize. So we went to Belize, and that's where I was born. We went back to New York, and we came to California when I was 2. So I've literally been in California since I was 2. But just like, and I came here legally, right? Even though I was an immigrant, I came here legally. But there are a lot of things as an immigrant that you can't do. Even to work, when I was 16, I had to get all kind of paperwork. I had already had my green card, so that gave me the ability to work. But as far as, um, making sure everything was legal and whatnot, that was difficult, you know. Um, a lot of people are not aware of how the immigration system works. I am a citizen now. I'm a dual citizen in Belize and also here in the U.S. But that does have challenges. I grew up in South Central LA most of my life. So, that gives you a different view of so many things. Saw so many drugs, gangs, drive-bys, you name it, I saw it. Okay? That was one of the reasons that I had to move out of the inner city with my children. And we moved to Santa Clarita at that time because we encountered a drive-by. Our house was shot up. Like literally, we just got in the house like 2 to 5 seconds, and pop, 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 pop. Bullet holes all through our window and our fence, you name it. You saw the shell casings everywhere the next morning. So, when I tell you that I've experienced and seen a lot, I've experienced and seen a lot. More than I care to even talk about. So, with that being said, I try to um, change a lot of things that I grew up seeing and I grew up with for my kids. I wanted them to have, like I put them in private school, wanted them to have an overall experience. I traveled a lot with them so that they can see a lot of things. Even when they went to high school, the school that I had them in, they went to a lot of places. Went to Italy, went to New York, went to Denver, Colorado, Washington, D.C., all of those things. They got to go on trips, and I wanted them to see the world and experience different cuisines and be business savvy and know that they can elevate You know what I mean? Just because of their color, that has nothing to do with it. You can still elevate and hold your head up high. And those were all of the things that I wanted someone to tell me that I didn't get. So know that you are above what your circumstance is, and know that you are loved and you can overcome whatever you put your mind to, you guys. That is the whole point of this conversation that I'm having with you right now. Is to know that you can rise above. You are beautiful. God loves you. I love you. And until next time, you guys. Bye bye.